This is a special video. Okay, baby. Now turn the wheel all the way to the left. All the way. 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 Right, now look at me. Look at me. Now turn it all the way to the right. You can take that in the house, baby. Son, you can take that in the house. Put it all the way to the right. Keep going. Go ahead. Go ahead. All the way to the right. See?
I'm trying. It's not stuck.
Nope, you did it.
Hey guys, this is Nathan here, and I am about to tell you one of the best tricks you could ever have. So, if you want to prank one of your parents or your sibling or someone, say, hey guys, I can stick my hand in this pot and it won't burn. It's the coolest prank ever, so you may not want to do it unless you're a psycho. So what you're going to do is you're going to want to put root beer in a pan. Then, you know how if you put, well, like, let's say Coca-Cola. If you put Coca-Cola if Coca-Cola is in a bottle, you're going to take the Mentos, put it in, it's going to explode. Not with a pan. Or like a Frisbee. If you put it in a Frisbee, put it on a stove that is off. It can be a pan too. You're going to stick your hand in, and secretly your hand is going to be holding Mentos. So your hand is going to cover the Mentos, and it's going to make it sizzle and look like it's really like burning. That's 1 minute. See you guys later.
Hey, welcome to another short episode of the Maddie Lipsis Show. And I just wanted to really quickly mention something about Shennay. Shennay's name has been dragged through the proverbial mud by Valerie and by others, but those others were way more ignorant than Valerie. Because I've been silent throughout 2020, very, very silent about the suffering that Valerie has caused me. Because I was very silent about that in 2020, a lot of things were accepted as fact because Valerie put it out there. And it's 2022 now, okay? One of my inner circle friends, okay? She asked me a very, very insulting question, okay? Here's the question she asked me. She asked me, and she asked me this in December of 2021, okay? She asked me if I committed adultery against Valerie. In other words, did I cheat on Valerie with Shennay? The reason why that question is insulting from my friend is because throughout 2020 and throughout 2021, my inner circle friend has had pretty much full access to me all of that time. And I understand people not wanting to ask sensitive questions, but with my inner circle friends and with some of the people on the email list here, I've allowed myself to be somewhat of an open book. The Bible says that we should function as living epistles. And if you don't know what an epistle is, an epistle is a book. Theoretically, it's a book in the Bible. Live your life like it's a living Bible. Word became flesh. And so I've been living the Word of God that God gave to me, that God gave to everybody. I've been living as best as possible the Word of God, living the Word of my life. Pastor Eric Dorsey, who's on this email chain, he's been with me in my life as a friend, as a mentor, since I was 22 years old. I was introduced to him by Pastor Brian, who's also on the email chain. The Power of Music Conference, after he did his sermon, somehow we became friends and I was over at his house a lot. Before me and Valerie ever became a couple, Pastor Eric Dorsey and I were friends. He was a mentor and he was teaching me a lot. I got a chance to hang out with a man of God, several years older than me. I don't know, Pastor Eric. I think he's like 97 years old, something weird, crazy number like that. But while he was on his path to his greatness, he made time to listen to me, to pray with me, and to help me formulate how to live this Bible rightly divided in my own life. Pastor Brian did the lifting. He did the sermons on Sundays and Wednesdays and stuff like that when we joined CCI. Prior to that, he was Sunday school. He was Monday school and Thursday children's church. I'm sorry, youth ministry that Valerie and I were a member of. But Pastor Eric Dorsey was, whenever I had time and whenever he had time, I was at his place. And then when I got a smartphone, a cell phone, sometimes we'd be on the phone. When I got married to Valerie, him and Katrina weren't able to make the actual wedding, but they did come either before or after. And I got a picture of them, me, Valerie, Katrina, and Pastor Eric Dorsey. And I was grateful. Pastor Eric and me have maintained pretty decent communication. If there's anybody who could talk to you about at least what Matthew Walker, me, have gone through in my marriage, Pastor Eric Dorsey. His email is right on there. You see Eric Dorsey. You see his name on there. Eric. And the reason why this is important is because when throughout my entire adulthood, starting at age 22, I've always checked in with Pastor Eric with almost every season of my life. We check in with each other. You know, he tells me some of the stuff that's going on in his life, but one of the great things about him is um, he knows I'm right behind him. Okay, I'm behind him in some age, I'm behind him in life experience, and I'm always right. There was a time period where he said to me, "You know what, Matt? I'm not your mentor anymore. We're brothers in Christ." And I was like, "This sounds good, but I know I got more to learn, man."
And as I've been a provider of ministry, I've always checked into him and I've always been humble to him and I've always respected him and called him Pastor Eric Dorsey. Pastor Eric. I've never called him Eric by his first name because I've learned that when you call somebody by their anointing or title or whatever role, you end up getting more out of the relationship. That may not be true in every scenario, but Pastor Eric has always called me Matt because guess what he's always done for me? He's gotten more out of me. That's why Matt Ellipsis, you know, my stage name or whatever. That's not my real name. My name is Matthew Walker. But ellipsis is a title. It's not even a name. It's an ellipsis. It's ellipsis. It's like Jesus Christ. Christ means um um uh Christ means Messiah. It means the anointed one, his anointing. Ellipsis means run on sentence. Matt is a run on sentence, okay? Um, I'm a living epistle. I live my life knowing that my children are going to benefit from the details, knowing that others will benefit from the details. So, um, it's uncomfortable for some people to hear me talk as open and as candid about the things that have gone on over the past 15 years, 10 months, and 12 days of my marriage, over the past couple of years of this time period of divorce and custody issues. But the reason why it's important for me to talk about this stuff is because on the 3rd of March, there's a coming court hearing. And on that court hearing, I am asking Judge Goodman to hold Valerie in contempt of court for what she has done throughout the past 2 years. The guardian ad litem, he's a liar and a douchebag. Why is he that? Because the guardian ad litem, he lied to me to my face. And my children told me that he lied. And instead of Brian Pierce, this lawyer, who supposedly is paid, he's paid by the government, he's paid to represent my children. And instead of actually representing them, he's lied on them. He's lied to me about them. Now, that's something that whether you as a listener believes it or not, it happened. Why did he lie? Why? Listen, he knows why he lied. That's what matters. Because any questions that anybody has, number one, you can go ask that person. I think Brian Pierce is now on the email chain. Ask him yourself. But here's the problem is this. I'm giving very credible information. It's very believable and credible and simple, though it's heavy. Pastor Eric Dorsey, now we talked about it. Last conversation we had, he said, Matt, a lot of stuff is real heavy for a lot of people. So don't pick and choose. Either sit to the side and act like it's not a big deal. Or if you're going to be involved, if you're going to get into it, then get fully into it. Meaning, question Valerie. Here's the question that Valerie needs to answer. Why is it so important to you to block Matthew from having a relationship with his children? I know the answer to that, and Valerie knows the answer to that. Here's another question. Brian Pierce, why is it so important to you to lie regarding Nathan and Naomi? Why is it so important? It's part of the court record. You'll be able to listen to it. I'm going to make everything plain and available. Because in this court of public opinion, the thing that I've learned is that I'm going to do what needs to be done in court. But whether I win or lose, whether I get my children or not, there will be no mistaking to all of you that I tried my best. If everything is over with and the guardian ad litem with his very, 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 very wrongful attitude towards me, and Valerie with her recalcitrance and blustery ignorance, and Judge Goodman with his violation of my rights in so many ways, if and the Toma Police Department, who has helped Valerie by blocking me from my children, if all of them, all of these things against me, if it's allowed to stand, then I've got to be obedient and accept this for what it is. Because I've accepted it, meaning that in 2020, y'all didn't hear from me. 2021, y'all didn't hear from me that much. But I knew it was time to start talking and being vocal about this stuff in the fall of last year. Okay? I'm just now talking about it. Just now. Just now. It just began. I have not been talking about this stuff. So I apologize for anybody's discomfort about a situation that you're not even experiencing. I'm experiencing it. Valerie is the cause of my children and me not having the relationship that is intended. Father and daughter, father and son. Valerie's the cause. She does not have a justified reason for it. If I were a drug addict, I'd be silent. If I were an alcoholic, if I were an aggressive abuser, I'd be silent. I'm a righteous man, and I did nothing to deserve the way I'm being treated. All of the things that Valerie has said about me are lies. And any one of you that regard what she has called as a truth about me, then have it. Enjoy your truth about me. Enjoy it. Because it's only going to go one of two ways. Either Valerie is going to maintain this situation and I won't have my children. And guess what? You know what I have no choice but to do? Is to move on with my effing life. And that's what I'll do. I'll move on with my life. And that's why I want to say something about Shennay. Shennay has been very patient and she's been very kind. When Pastor Eric Dorsey, when he met Shennay over the phone, he said, Matt, this is a very wise woman. When Shennay and we talked, she said, Matt, is it okay if we counsel with Pastor Eric Dorsey? Now, both of them don't necessarily know that each other has said that. This is the first time I'm really communicating that in this message. The reason why I'm telling you guys this is because I always, always, always work towards making the right decision for the right time, rightly dividing every scenario as best as I can. So no matter what, even though you may disagree with me, even though Valerie disagrees with me, even though anybody can disagree with me, you have to understand that I know what's best for my life and I know what's best for my children's lives. And when I don't know, I am humble enough to find out what to do. And guess what? The way God set it up is God is the head of Christ. Christ is the head of man, me, and I'm the head of Valerie. And me and Valerie are supposed to govern the children. That's the way the Bible designed it. Valerie is the one that stepped out of that. I did not. I never stepped out of that role. I never did. Never did. I've always maintained, even after we were separated legally, and even during this divorce, I'm still her head. For the next 11 years, we both have children to raise. And if this is going to be part of the framework of them being raised, Valerie blocking me from my children, then so be it. But my children are going to always know that their dad has made the most valiant efforts as possible. I've never broken the law. I've never broken anything related to this. Now listen, the judge is unrighteous. Are you supposed to follow? Listen, are you supposed to follow unrighteous orders? Hey, guess what? Niggers are not supposed to be in this restaurant. This is colors, no colors allowed. Hey, you're not supposed to break the law. So how do we make progress? Do we not go to segregated restaurants, or do we go to segregated restaurants and we make the laws change? Which do we do? Do we sit at the back of the bus because that's the rule, or do we sit at the front of the bus and change the rules? Wisconsin is a woman's state. The way that I've been treated is wrong. Just like a nigger not being able to be in a restaurant, and just like a nigger sitting in the back of a bus. I've been treated like a nigger by Valerie. I've been treated like a nigger by Brian Pierce. I've been treated like a nigger by Judge Goodman. When I look in the mirror, I don't see a nigger. I see a man. And when Shennay looked at me, she saw a man that she loved. That's why Valerie's upset. Valerie's upset because there was actually a woman that was willing to love me and treat me right. That's upsetting. Nobody wants the next person that their spouse or whoever is with to treat them right. But do you know what I did when I I was homeless? Shennay's the only one that took me off the streets. Okay? My father and Shennay are the only two that put me in a scenario where I was able to sleep in a bed. Not Richard. My brother-in-law, I let him stay in my place for free. I let his daughter stay at my place for free. But no, not me. Richard let me languish in a van, sleeping in the car in the wintertime. I slept in the van in the wintertime in 2020. Nobody gave a good God nothing. Even Richard, somebody I helped, gave money to. I've helped him. And he let me languish. Why? Because he's afraid of Valerie. Valerie set it up for me to be homeless, and she let me sleep in the van. She even said in court, Your Honor, it's better for him to sleep in the van than in the car because, you know, the van is more space. She said that. She said that. I've got the court record. I'll let you see it. That's right. Matthew, why do you want to put the mother of your children in jail? Why did the mother of my children cause me to be homeless? Ask that question first, because guess what happened first? What happened first is what Valerie did. What happened first is Valerie made me homeless. Now, Valerie is an elder in the church, and she's the leader of the homeless ministry in Lighthouse. And I guess using the powers that she's been anointed with, she made me homeless. Now, she has zero zero. She has zero guilt in her heart about what she did to me. She's never apologized to me. Let me tell you what she did say in September. She said, Matt, I should have done it your way, which my way was, Valerie, I know you want to be divorced from me. I know you don't want to be with me anymore, but let's make this easy on the children and let's spend 2020 being amicable, continue things the way it was. I live in the basement, you live upstairs. We've been living like that for the whole time that we've been living at 840. I've been in the basement, she's been on the first floor, living like roommates, not having no sex. She doesn't love me. Valerie does not love me. And she's never really, really, really loved me. We didn't have sex on our honeymoon. We didn't have sex for the first 18 months. And the couple of times that we had sex with no condom to have our babies, she was doing that because it was time for her to have a baby. It's time for me to have a baby. I finally got my degree. Now I can have a baby now. And I'm not saying she doesn't love the children. And I'm not saying that she's never had feelings for me. It's obvious that she's got feelings for me. But she's never loved me. Not the way that I needed to be loved. And guess what? As a man, I shouldn't ask for respect. I shouldn't ask for love either. Whatever comes to me, it's what I deserve. Valerie set it up for me to be beat up by police. She even said it in court. Matthew, you got beat up by the police because of your behavior. Valerie's the one that set that up. There's more to the story, but Valerie's the one that set that up with her lies. And she even called herself opportunistic. And you should see the stuff that she sent to Shennay. You should see some of the emails that she sent to Shennay. How disrespectful Valerie was and is. Shennay is probably the most classiest woman that I've ever met. I don't think that I've ever met anyone more classier than her. Shennay has so much class. Shennay has never uttered not one word to Valerie. She's never replied to not one email. And you know why? She doesn't have to. Valerie has been so rude to Shennay. And Shennay has backed off so much to give me the space I need to deal with what I've been dealing with regarding Valerie. She's given me so much space. And I appreciate her. I really do. Shennay, let me say this to you. Thank you for being one of the best friends I've ever had in my life. Thank you. Thank you for being one of the best friends that I've ever had. I've never had a friend as amazing as you have been over these past couple of years. Thank you for allowing me to set up a little office at your home and get away from Toma. The Toma Police Department could not mess with me when I was out of town. Toma Police Department has stalked me, come to my house in the middle of the night, brandishing their weapons, helping Valerie, intimidating me, making my life hard. And when I can spend some of those weekends or time at your place, Shennay, helped just to be away from this place, this godforsaken. I hate Toma. I hate being here. I hate being here. And I come here so that I could be close to my children. And that's what makes it even worse when I just want to see my children. I could be down in Georgia enjoying my effing life. There's so many men that would love to be in my situation where the woman doesn't even want me to have contact with my children. She doesn't want me to be around my children at all because she's jealous. She knows that my children love hanging out with me. You see the videos. She is so jealous of my relationship with my children that she asked the judge, Judge, could you please stop Matthew from making videos? I'm going to lie about what I'm saying. It makes the children look bad. No, Valerie, it makes you look bad. You look like such a douchebag for blocking me from my children. And you know you look bad for that. You know you do. You're jealous of my relationship with my children. Eat it, Valerie, just eat it. And I've sacrificed, and I don't want to say it like it's a sacrifice, but so many men, they move on and start their relationship with somebody else and don't worry about the children. I was just on the phone with one of my friends today, and she told me that when their parents split up, when she was like 10 years old, that, you know, dad moved on. I'm like, whoa, man. I had my father. And I saw my father. It took him a while to move on. The thing about it is that my father taught me, love with your head, not with your heart. I thank God for my father telling me that. Love with your head, not your heart. Meaning that I've never been deceived by Valerie. I didn't love Valerie from my heart. I loved her with my brain. I knew what I was doing, and I made sure that every action throughout our marriage and before, I made sure that every action was lined up with the Word of God, if at all possible. And throughout my marriage, I talked to Pastor Eric, and we had I remember, I never forget, 2010. That's when I finally really kind of like perfected, because he taught me something in 2008, 2009. He said, Matt, let your responses to Valerie be scriptural. Meaning when she does something here and here and here, let your response be a scripture-based response, whether it's your words or your actions. That's powerful stuff, man. And that's nice to say, but guess what? Oh, it's powerful to act on it. And I finally, in 2010, I was by myself out there in California. Valerie was pregnant. And I was able to spend the pregnancy just talking with her on the phone sometimes. And she hang up on me, I hang up on her, whatever. During that time, Valerie went out to Florida to hang out with some ex-boyfriend of hers, her and Lysandra. And they flew on my dime. I was making $10,000 a month. She took some money, went out to Florida. Why? Because she could afford it. Why? Because she could afford it? Because I was always the breadwinner. Never in my marriage was I not the breadwinner. Even when I wasn't making a lot of bread, I still paid the bills. Now, I'm not saying Valerie never paid the bills because she got her little hustle, but she's always had what's called mad money, stash money. She's always been able to stash money because it wasn't required. I didn't require her to pay bills. So Valerie was able to take Lysandra on a vacation to Florida. And I got the pictures of her on the beach and Lysandra taking pictures of her. I don't know everything she did out there. She went out there to hang out with her ex-boyfriend, Pastor Larry. And I never challenged her on that, except a little bit. I'm like, you went out to Florida? Because she didn't tell me she was going either. That's a whole. This woman, Valerie, I can't wait to talk about all this stuff. I cannot, because all of this is, we're not married anymore. And these are my stories. Because I did pretty much everything right in the marriage. Matt, you could not have done everything. No, no. You, criticizer, you're the one that couldn't do everything right in your marriage. Every step of my marriage, I made sure I talked to God about every step. Now, Valerie's got a lot of things she can talk about. And that's why it's so interesting to listen to what she has to say and read what she has to say. That's why I don't do it. I don't really read her stuff. I know what she's generally saying because you can scan it, but I don't let her words get in my heart. You know why? Valerie is one of the greatest writers that I've ever known. There's nobody who writes better than her, in my opinion, in a lot of ways. I've read a lot of stuff. I read some stuff. Valerie is her writing ability is very great. I wish that she would just use her ability to write a book, write some novels, write a play, write a movie. She's that good. But one of Valerie's challenges is actually she's got two challenges that blocks her writing ability. And listen, I'm a rapper. I'm a songwriter myself. I'm a writer myself. I can write some stuff. Okay. As evidenced by m3dots.com. If you look at Valerie's website, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. You look at mine, you see, I take care of business. I write. Two things that makes Valerie that blocks her ability to write. Number one is her hard-heartedness. Because when you're hard-hearted, you don't see they say you don't see the forest for the trees. You don't see yourself for what you are. There's a technique of writing that somebody I might have took a class when I was in my late 20s, and it's so interesting. And I've done this a couple times, and it's a powerful technique. And this is about the hard-heartedness. Okay, here, check it out. Here's the technique. Write a paragraph about yourself in the third person. Okay, so here's an example of that. Okay, Matt failed to understand why his marriage was tough. Matt did not know what to do. Now, those two sentences. Now, after you write that out, you write the whole paragraph, write as much as you can with that. And you're talking about yourself in the third person. Then go back and take it out of third person and put it in first person. I failed to understand, blah, blah, blah. I neglected to do the right thing in this case. I did not know why this happened. You see what I'm saying? When you write it in third person, it's like you're removing yourself, and it's easy because if I say something about Valerie, I said, Valerie, you did this. Valerie, you did that. It's easy for me to say that. And so I've learned to do that with my Matt, you did this. Matt, you did that. And then erase the you and put me. I did this. I did that. Whether you'll ever understand it or not, I always take responsibility for my own actions. And here's the key, though. I'm the head, which means I'm always responsible. Everything is my fault. I'm the head. When you are the leader of Walmart, it's your fault, leader of Walmart, why this is not on the shelves. Yeah, you can go down and blame some little employee that makes $7.40 an hour, or you can take responsibility for it and just make sure it gets done. General, you're responsible for Abu Ghraib. Those are your soldiers. They're under your command. You can blame them and make them the scapegoat, or you can take responsibility for the culture that you created in your command. Matthew, you are responsible for Valerie being the way she is. And you're responsible for this whole situation. Everything that's going on, Matt, you're responsible for it. You're the head. God is the head of Christ. Christ is the head of you, Matt. And Matt, you are the head of Valerie, and you are responsible for those children. You're not responsible for Valerie's mother, who's lived with you for the whole marriage. You're not responsible for Richard and Maya, who's lived with you for some of the marriage. You're not responsible for Lysandra and her children, who's had the key to your place and is always around. But you are responsible for Valerie and Naomi and Nathan. So, Matt, what are you going to do about this situation? So therein lies anybody that tells me, Matt, you shouldn't be talking about this stuff in public. Guess what? I'm the only one qualified to talk about this stuff. Do you understand what headship means? When you look at the president is the one that gets out there and does the State of the Union. Nobody does. If he's sick, the vice president don't get up there and do the State of the Union. No, we postpone the State of the Union until the president is not sick no more. The president does the State of the Union. I'm doing the state of my children's welfare. That's what this is. The state of my children's welfare. The president addresses the public. I am addressing a small fraction. You guys, everybody, this is not the public. This ain't nothing but 5, 6, 8, 10, 15, 20 of y'all. This ain't nobody. This ain't even no real percentage of the public. Ain't nobody on here really special. You're special to me, which is why you're on the CC line. But you're not nobody in the grand scheme of things. You know who's a somebody? Naomi and Nathan. Naomi and Nathan are going to be looking at every name on this thing. Now listen, they may not care. I care. I care about them. When my parents were divorced, started when I was age 7, ended when I was 9. That's when their divorce was finally. It took about 2 years for it to be finalized, just same as mine. My parents, I watched both of them be sad because my father really truly loved my mother. So he was brokenhearted. And I've learned about my mother that she definitely did love my father because she still talked about him in a positive way. It was in 2020 was the first time that she's ever said anything negative about my father. That was the first time. And I was at my dad's house and it was unexpected and my father heard everything. Whoa, it was hilarious and amazing. And my father was like, Matt, wow, I didn't know she felt that way. I said, yeah, Dad. I didn't know either. Wow. And I went to go visit my mother and we talked. And that day was really a definitive day in 2020 when I saw her getting old. Like, my mother's been getting older. She's 65, but like, yeah, she was walking up the stairs real slow. And I know what season it is between my mother and my father. And the thing about it is that Valerie is blocking my children from getting to know my father and my mother before they die. This hurts so bad to me because my parents are wonderful parents. I've got both of my parents. Valerie doesn't have both of her parents. Her father died when she was 14. And every day that she blocks me, and every time that she blocks me from my children, she hinders my son and my daughter from getting to know their grandfather and grandmother. That hurts. Hurts my father so bad. But again, nobody on the CC line, y'all don't have to care. I'm not asking y'all to care. Valerie's doing this because she's mad that Shennay actually loved me. And Shennay is so classy that she's never replied to anything Valerie has done. Shennay is the classiest woman that I've ever met in person, that I've ever had the privilege to hang around. Valerie will never ever measure up to Shennay. Never. And I never tried to compare them. I never put either one against each other. Valerie is the one who put herself against Shennay. I did not cheat on Valerie with Shennay. I did not have to. I did not have to. Everything Valerie did was prompted by her own mindset. I love, to be honest with you, I love that Valerie deceives herself so much. I love it. I enjoy that she stumbles over herself and that she does what she does. I love it. I'm even enjoying the fact that she's enjoying the Brian Pierce being on her side. I love that she's enjoying that. I love it. I love that Valerie's church has a racist pastor. I love it. I love that Valerie has Jason and Amanda with her fat ankles and that she really, really sucks up to them. Valerie is the greatest token that Toma has ever had. Valerie is a token, and she's trying to make my son be Chicken George. I love that Valerie has decided to function like she's functioned. You know why? Because she put herself as a caricature. And all I've got to do, in my opinion, is A, do what I did in 2020 and 2021. Pray and continue to make sure that my heart is right. And that's all I've been doing. When I go hang out with Shennay, we talk about this stuff, but then me and her have had a good time. We've had some good times together, me and Shennay, because she's a good woman. And I was able to, sometimes you need to get things out of your mind. But then also, I was able to come back to Toma and focus on seeing my children every Tuesday from 4 to 6, every Thursday from 4 to 6, and every other Saturday from noon to 6. And as I got in there and I kept on doing it, kept on trying, kept on doing it, kept on doing it, kept on doing it, Valerie began to hate it, boy. By the end of 2021, by October, she's so angry because my children they're fine. My children are fine. Yeah, they don't like it, but my children are doing good. Not because of Valerie. They're doing good because I have kept on sticking with it. There's a lot of men who don't have a lot of patience like me. They don't. They just don't. And me talking about this stuff, I don't care if it's uncomfortable to you because you have not had to deal with the discomfort of 2020 and 2021. This is how my father put it. My father told me two things that were amazing. My father said, anybody, Matt, who criticizes you, number one, they've never dealt with Valerie and her stinking fat mother for all them years that you took care of them too. If let them do that, guess what? I challenge everybody. Let your mother-in-law live with you for 15 years, 10 months, and 12 days. When you get to the 11th day after the 15th year and the 10th month, when you get to the 13th day, right? 15 years, 10 months, and 12 days. When you get to day 13, after you've done it for 15 years and 10 months and 12 days, when you get to the following day, at that point, you could call me and tell me, Matt, guess what? Here's what you should have done. Here's what you need to do. Here's what your mouth you should say. If you can't do that, if you've never done that, you need to shut your mouth. Valerie has never done what I did. Valerie benefited from me being patient and allowing her mother to live with us for the whole marriage. But Valerie's never, ever, 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 ever been able to care for my parents even a little bit. Not even a little bit. That's why it's very insulting that she's been blocking me from my children for 2 years. Because number one, Valerie knows that I care about them children more than her. I care about my children more than her. She knows that. And she knows that my children experience a father's love so powerful. Valerie's never experienced her own father's love the way that my children have. She sat on the sidelines and she watches how I take care of Naomi, how I take care of Nathan, how I love and play with Naomi, how I love and play with my son, how I laugh with both of my children. Valerie is so jealous of my relationship with my children. She doesn't have that with my children. All of her ruling over my children is all by force and intimidation. When someone intimidates like Valerie, it's because they're insecure. If you read if you read the emails that she sent to Shennay, even the stuff that she say to her now, you see the insecurities. Shennay is not insecure like Valerie is. I mean, every woman got their insecurities. But Valerie is very insecure. Valerie's being insecure shows up in this way. She blocks me from my children. Only an insecure woman would do that. No secure woman, no woman secure in herself, no mature woman would block a man from his children. Now listen, I understand there's men with drug addicts. There's men that are drug addicts. There are men that are whatever. I'm not one of those men. Everything that Valerie has ever said about me is a lie or based in a lie or based in the desire to discredit me. So everything that you believe about me that's based on anything she said is a lie. And it's okay. Believe that lie. Bible says agree with your adversary. Guess what? I agree with you. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. That's why I've been chilling. I agreed with Valerie. Oh, you said I'm this? Hey, guess what? I agree with you. 2020, I've agreed with her. Guess what? Guess what happened? Guess what happened? She never recanted. Why? Because I agreed with her. See, the Bible says agree with your adversary. So Valerie was adversarial, and so I obeyed the Bible. Here's what should have happened from that. Valerie should have said, you know what? I was bogus for that. I'm finna stop. But no, no, no. Valerie continued to go further and further and further and further. Now, here's the thing. So I'm supposed to, and I'm only saying this because I want to drive this point home. I'm not supposed to talk about this stuff in public based on some of y'all. Not necessarily on email, but because this is an episode that's going to go out to a lot of people. I'm not supposed to talk about this stuff in public, but you watch Kim Kardashian and you watch Kanye West. You watch what happened in the elevator with Jay-Z and Beyonce and Solange. You watch what happened with Donald Trump grabbing people by the, you watch what happened with Obama and this and that. You watch what happened with this person. Monica Lewinsky had this person's in her mind. You mentioned Jesse Jackson. He had a side baby. You know all of the stuff about other people. Bishop Eddie Long. We know but with my situation, I can't talk about it. I'm not supposed to say nothing about it. I'm supposed to just suffer in silence. You know what's the difference between me and all those other people? First of all, nothing's the difference. But I'm going to tell you what the difference is. Those people cannot be controlled by any of you. But you all know that you can reach me at m3dots.com. You know that you can reach me at m3dots@yahoo.com. Many of y'all know my phone number. So you know how to reach me. Facebook, whatever. You know how to reach me. So that's why. So you can tell me what you think. Guess what? Thank you for your thoughts. I appreciate it. I really do. Because guess what? Anybody that will give me some attention, like my friend, she called me today. And she said, Matt, I listened to your podcast. She said, Matt, I disagree with this and I disagree with that. And I said, thank you. Thank you. Because anybody that would spend some time listening to my content, listen, I'm grateful. Okay? I really am. So I'm not upset with anybody. I'm not even upset with Valerie. Valerie does not like that I have what's called a bully pulpit. Because I'm not going to be bullied on my own content. I'm not. I'm sorry. I've already been bullied by the police. I've been bullied by Valerie. I've been bullied by her family. I've been bullied by a lot of people. That that ends. I'm not going to be bullied no more. Okay? I'm not walking in any fear. And everything that happens to me, to my children, to Valerie, I take full responsibility because I'm the head. Now, here's the thing. The reason that I take full responsibility for everything is because I'm the only one who has the actual solutions. Judge Goodman, he published his order. Oh, I'm so happy because now I get to, never mind, I'm not going to talk about it. Oh, I'm so happy that these people feel that their fiefdom is so untouchable. I'm so happy about that. Valerie, thank you so very much for 2020 and for 2021. Because everything you've done has made it so that whether you know it or not, the end result is you're going to prison. That's the end result. I know you don't feel like you are. I know you don't feel like you are. Which is why you're going to continue with your hard heart. Think about this. All I've been asking you is let my children go. That's all I've been doing. And what have you been doing? I'm not letting the children go. And your heart has been hard. Who do you feel has hardened your heart? Hmm? So, thank you all for listening. And final note, two final notes. One of them is you've been listening to the Maddie Lipsis Show, 46711. M3dots.com is the website. I've got podcasts out there, Kill Your Peeps, the Legend and the Lyricist. I Love My Own Divorce, the Jackie and Matt Show, um, Rocco and Son, Beating on My Babies, Professional Testifiers. I've got a lot of content on M3dots.com. Guide on radio, baby. Final note, Shennay, thank you. You're the classiest woman on the planet, in my humble yet accurate opinion about you. I apologize to you, Shennay, for everything that you've had to endure because of me and because of my focus on my children. I apologize for everything you've had to endure because of Valerie and her um, indiscretions and her insecurities. And I want you to know, Shennay, that I appreciate you and everything that you've done to be a blessing to me. Pastor Eric Dorsey was right. You are a woman of wisdom. And I will say this about you. You're the greatest woman on the planet in so many ways. And I honor you. And whatever the future holds, I just want you to know that I always hold you in high regard and I appreciate everything that you've ever done because my daughter and my son, though Valerie has trained them to despise you, I know that one trip to Disney World and um, a couple of months of no pressure from Valerie will remind them of how good of a life they've got with their father, me, and they will understand that while my life was hard, you, Shennay, you gave me water when I was parched. You cooked me meals when I was hungry. And you involved yourself um, monetarily. You've involved yourself um, by not letting me sleep in my van all the time. Thank you, Shennay. Thank you. Thank you forever. Thank you. You've been listening to the Maddie Lipsis Show. Enjoy your day and enjoy your night.
Dad, do you know how Kid Danger has hypermotility?
What?
Do you know how Kid Danger has hypermotility?
Okay.
Hypermotility means super fast. Man, he's never watched Henry Danger, so he doesn't.
No, but I mean, I could.
Well, he has
Yeah.
Hypermotility.
Okay.
And guess what Piper has?
What's that?
Hypermotility. One, because her name is Piper, and two, because it rhymes.
Wait, Dad, film this.
Get me up here.
2, 1.
1, 2, 3.
Wait, Dad, you gotta get the shot.
Actually, you know what? Let me show you a good shot. Okay, let me.
I got a good one. Here, Dad, if you're getting video, just watch this.
Okay.
Wait, here's like, okay, first, here's the
Dad,
here,
Dad.
if we were making a movie, here would be the movie shot. Make an awesome superhero pose. Come on, Naomi. And now here's the reality version, like the cast version.
Dad, make a video.
I am.
Press video. Okay.
I'm pressing video.
Karen.
Baby, what are you doing? I don't want to see that mess.
Karen. Dad, we did this before. I took it.
I don't want to do it.
Move it, Karen. Move it, Karen.
Watch this.
Move it, Karen.
I am Impossible, and so the world will know. I keep the city of Wisconsin safe.
City of Wisconsin.
Sorry,
Okay.
city of Toma. Or wait, city of.
In the city of Toma.
Wait, which city are we in?
What do you think?
Is the city Wisconsin or Toma?
Or let's call.
No, wait,
let's-
the country is Toma. Is the city of America? Or
Wait, are you serious or no?
no, I'm not. I'm serious, man.
Okay, are you
Dad,
serious?
I've been in virtual school for a long time, so I'm forgetting.
Okay. The state is Wisconsin,
Okay.
and then the city is Toma.
Well, that stinks. Okay. Okay.
But you could make up a town. You could make up a town called Cranberry.
No.
No, how about a town called?
Okay, Dad. Plot. Okay, wait. Go all the way into the street and take the shot.
Yeah, like go all the way across
So
the
this will-
street. Go
Wait,
all the
awesome.
way across the street, Dad.
Dad.
Dad, go all the way across the street.
Go to wherever it makes the.
You are now listening to nm3dots.com. Free download. Thank you for your support. You are now listening to nm3dots.com. Free download. Thank you for your support.
This is not a secret, tight hole like no spiteful, lack of insightful, not no rival. Society, hold no eye, it's irony. Cattle on 1,000, my propriety. More than the zeitgeist, hands down decidedly. The king of Babylon ate pine, then opined of me. Some of the council said finally. I'm patient, think refinery. Think about the peace, be still, voice, real choice, third seal, big reveal it all. Lay hands, heal them all. Cast the net, get them all. Highways, byways, meet them all. Banquet, invite, met them all. Set them all down, break bread ass. If it was the last, I just makes you crash. But let's not let this moment pass. Because when you grasp it, you'll remember.
When you do this, please don't do it in the frivolous ambivalence as traditionally. See what I mean? Do this in remembrance, please remember me. Please, oh please, don't do it in the frivolous ambivalence as traditionally. See what I mean? Do this in remembrance, please.
In the era of the
remember
first
me.
dot, I faced all my fears. Second dot era, time to manifest my beard. It don't grow long, but it is triumphant. Maddie Lips' afro, I'm a city bumpkin. When I shave, they say I look 25. When I was in my 40s, it felt good to be alive. I thrive in discomfort, cause I know when my cheese move. She mistakes it for macho, my cheese move. Foresight, 2036 vision. Nobody earthly can stop my mission. I said that I must, and I did what God projected. Underground sound, kingdom music is protected by the orange, purple, gold of the district. Whenever you see me, I'm about my father's business. That's why every song got anointment on it. You can let your kids listen without cringing what's on it. The music of today needs a tweak from the king. That's why I'm persisting with the message that I bring in the third
dot era ever everybody sings. That's why I'm persisting with the message that I bring. In the era of the first dot, I made full proof. Second dot era, my proof bears fruit. Don't forget m3dots.com. Do this in remembrance, please remember me when you do this, please. Don't do it in the frivolous ambivalence as traditionally. See what I mean? Do this in remembrance, please remember me. Please, oh please, don't do it in the frivolous ambivalence as traditionally. See what I mean? Do this in remembrance, please. The wafer represents the word. It took flesh when you ingest. You know you are blessed. The juice is just a taste of redemption. Oh, the blood was shed for you. The wafer represents the word. It took flesh when you ingest. You know you are blessed. The juice is just a taste of redemption. Oh, the blood was shed for you. When you do this, please don't do it in the frivolous ambivalence as traditionally. See what I mean? Do this in remembrance, please remember me. Please, oh please, don't do it in the frivolous ambivalence as traditionally. See what I mean? Do this in remembrance, please remember me. Represents the word. It took flesh when you ingest. You know you are blessed. The juice is just a taste of redemption. Oh, the blood was shed for you. The wafer represents the word. It took flesh when you ingest. You know you are blessed. The juice is just a taste of redemption. Oh, the blood was shed for you.
To defeat, I can do any power and
What's
your name again?
Wait, no, not any power.
What's your name again?
My name is Matt.
No, you're superhero.
Brute.
Okay,
Wait,
Brute,
Naomi, you don't have any power.
Dang on it.
I'm trying to get her to listen. She won't listen to me. She's just talking.
So did you take away? You took away her power?
I didn't say she doesn't have any power at all. I said she doesn't have every power in the world.
Oh, well.
She has the ability to change her look into anyone else and power up her abilities so that she's stronger.
Well, it looked like she had the power to run around in a circle.
Hey, Naomi, you know what your power's up? You have the ability to change your look into anyone and anything, so you can shapeshift into anything, and you can upload your powers. So, like, if you're fast, then